Hello there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to the TGIF Talks, episode 68. No, 78. I'm your host, Dr. Sheep, joined by my co-host, Anonymous Phil.
Hi.
And today's guest star, Buck, better known as the Riddle Man Buck.
Oh, hi, I'm just staring off into space.
Roll the intro. Share my screen. YouTube. Go live.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
And they're always glad you came.
These podcasts are broken down into 4 parts. First, we have how our weeks have been, followed by the news, followed by your comment, followed by a random 4th topic that I've yet to come up with. So, usually we start this off by asking Phil how his week has been. And Phil will always say the same thing he says every time. Isn't that right?
Well, rather.
You can't. God damn it! Just because I'm not there with you to slap you doesn't mean you can just swear like you want. At least it's
Can we get a video of that? Can someone clip that, please?
At least it's in the first minute or so. It'll be easy to remove. Anyways, well,
Damn it, Phil.
actually, Phil, that's different. Usually it's like, oh, pretty uneventful. So why was it so much crappier than your usual week?
Nothing exciting happened.
But
Well, why
nothing
didn't you
ever
make anything
happened.
exciting happen?
That's what
What?
I tell him.
And nothing eventful ever happens.
Sounds like you got a boring life, boy.
Oh, well,
Why, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
work hard for
I'll
that.
be here. I'll be here all week. Literally, probably sitting in this exact same spot. That or 2 feet to my left.
You don't have a job either?
Huh?
You don't have a job?
This is my job.
he's a
Yeah,
YouTuber now.
I'm currently working on my job right now.
Wait, are you serious? You get, paid for this and stuff?
Yeah.
Kind of.
I've been monetized for over 1.5 years now. Except I have side things going on the thing that I didn't want to do this full time, but the things lined up in my favor, so kind
Like
of
always?
And it,
yeah.
it pays
No,
the bills?
not always.
Oh,
This is the luckiest thing I've ever done.
well, I know.
It pays the bills?
Yeah. Not anything that's grand, but gets the bills paid, and I can do a few side projects,
I see.
which Mr. Sheep here has at least seen prototype of. Well, not prototype, but work in progress.
Oh, yeah. Of course, you need some more space to work on that.
That's why we got the driveway.
The driveway isn't exactly, well, it's not great. I mean, then if you're me, you just make your space.
Yes, you do. Dude, I cleared out my whole little area that sits by my front door that I could store the bikes that I have now if I wanted to bring them down, and it's like my bike garage.
That'll
I
work.
got a toolbox in the back, and then you just said probably a bike or two in the little space between that and the AC and the door.
So, I see you're working in your living room, it looks like.
Actually, this is a living room, dining room, office, kitchen, all in one.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
It's a studio.
No, it's old school apartment. It's like it's 500 square feet, but it's like old style where everything's just open. It's a very big open place.
so do you have an actual designated bedroom or no?
Yes, there is an actual bedroom in the back, then there's like a storage closet on the right, bathroom on the left, and there's a tiny, tiny little hallway, and then
Oh,
you
yeah, I
go
was
to the
just gonna
kitchen.
ask that.
Dining thing.
You have a designated bathroom, too?
No, we just poo out in the yard.
Oh, that's what I figured.
Yep. Well,
That's
the
what-
way the plumbing in this building goes,
You
probably
have
should.
trees out there, right?
Yes.
No.
No.
A solid one that sits on the left side and one on the right.
It's
and then
not very
a
big.
Dead one on the back. No, it's not.
Not big enough to hide behind. I've seen it. I'm pretty
Don't give
sure,
away my hiding spot.
I'm pretty sure.
Or
there's-
just tell the cars and people just don't look if you don't want to see it.
I'm pretty sure the trees have stayed. The trees have stayed the same ever since I was a kid. So I don't. Yeah. Then there's Phil.
Where I hear my phone ringing, and I don't know where it's at.
Are you sure?
What about me?
Where did my phone go?
Well, anyways, so while he answers his phone, I guess I'll talk about how my week.
There was no phone call.
Oh, it might be my phone. I sometimes I silence it, sometimes I don't. It depends how I feel. Today
I thought
I
I felt
don't.
it.
Today I don't really care. So, all right, I'll talk about how my 2 weeks have been. So let's just put it this way: I have now entered my third job in the last 2 months. Pretty solid.
Congratulations.
Oh yeah.
Nice distance.
Well, I mean, I quit the first one because I couldn't stand it anymore, and I just wanted to get out of there. So I got that second one, and then within the first 2 days of that one, I was like, I gotta get out of here. And so then after 5 weeks, I finally got a new job, and that was an interesting one. So I went in there last Wednesday, and I'm like, it was funny because one of the guys had just quit Monday. And they walked him off. They didn't even give him 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, I already knew I was going to quit. I was just like, oh, dear. If I quit today or tomorrow, that's going to be rough.
This man's about to get yeeted, deleted.
So I go in Wednesday, and I'm like, yeah, I'm quitting. It's the end of the day. And he's like, so, like, today? Or I'm like, I'm giving you 2 weeks. I figured it'd be fair. He's like, okay. So I go down and sit for an hour on my phone and talk to the other guys. An hour passes, I go up to clock out, and he's just like, come into my office. I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, so I talked to corporate, and they're like, we'll clear the 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay. So I was unemployed for 2 days.
Did you get anything done in those 2 days from standing on my driveway?
Yeah, you're looking at it in the background.
Well, okay, so I built this.
He's being productive!
I mean, I built this on Saturday and Sunday. But
2 days of unemployment!
well, that weren't the 2 days. Thursday and Friday were the 2 days of unemployment.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, Saturday and Sunday, I technically kind of always have those off. So, so then I called my new boss Thursday morning. I'm like, hey, yeah, when can I start? She's like, oh, you can start Monday. So, I started my new job as a teller/banker.
Let's see.
And let's just say this. It's very. I've learned a lot, kind of. I've done a lot. I've handled.
Yeah, but you've learned all the dollar bills.
Yeah, I've handled lots of cash already. It's kind of daunting. I've seen very large numbers on things that I'm like, oh, Jesus.
You make how much?
This guy's got how much sitting in his account? What the? He just pulled how much out yesterday?
What is the most common question or request people have?
Deposit.
Deposit early?
Can I make a deposit? Most people are putting money in. Yeah, it was funny. My boss.
I wish I had that problem.
yeah.
Well,
I have a problem of withdrawing.
Well, yeah, and then it's withdrawals. Yeah, it goes deposits.
Isn't that what an ATM is for?
Well, not if you want hundreds
What do I look like, an ATM?
or 50s or 10s.
You should say that the next time the guy comes by. What do I look like, an ATM?
Yeah, well, see, I don't directly handle people yet. I don't really do much of anything. They kind of just like, here, you can do this transaction for me, and I'll watch you like a hawk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm getting faster.
No, no, man, they're just gonna be like, yeah. So we got this job for you.
Yeah,
We're gonna
man,
have you
you're
do all
gonna
this stuff, but we're count all this money. We're not gonna supervise you because we trust you.
Well, yeah. Today, they were teaching
Next thing
me.
you know, there's
No, I'm like, yeah, but your account's empty.
$2.3 million is missing out of the vault. That is knocked out. I've seen it 100 times.
So they were. So one of the things today, I was doing more banker stuff. They had me. I was learning how to get debit cards printed and that kind of stuff.
Banker stuff.
Banker stuff. Yeah, actual banker stuff. And I kind of wish I was an actual just normal banker because the teller stuff kind of sucks. The banker stuff is interesting, but you're not as busy, so it's like, Yeah, the teller stuff's like, oh, and that's just more time sensitive. The banker stuff, you can kind of just take your time because, like, obviously the person wanting to open account stuff obviously would like you to go faster, but at the same time, as far as they're concerned, this takes a while. And honestly, they've gotten the system so simplified down to where you could probably let people just do it themselves, which is very which is kind of where that's headed. So, other than like very specific niche stuff, I feel like bankers and tellers are their days are numbered. But
Sounds like you have to get another job within 2 weeks.
well, no, I wouldn't say days. I'd say probably years. It's because the problem is you still have boomers that don't know how to use apps. So once the boomers die, yeah, most of it will be online. And
But then you'll need someone to monitor the website.
Well, that's IT. That's not. I don't need to worry about that. But luckily, though, before this transition ever happens, I don't plan to really be a teller that long. I kind of want to. I'm gonna try and move up first chance I get, so I can be a loan assistant and then eventually be a loan officer. That is what I want to do. Telling is, I never wanted to be a teller, but I'm just like, it is what it is. But I'm also a banker, so I get paid more for that.
You get paid more to be a banker?
Yes. Yes, I make, well, not a lot more. What are you laughing at over there?
Yes!
Well, yeah, I mean, there's only 2 of us, so, like, you know, we kind of should get paid more since there's only 2 of us. It's kind of interesting. I'm even though I'm the least experienced person there, well, and if we're talking about days worked, yes, but hours worked, not for much longer because they had a new person start last Thursday. But the thing about her is she's only in, like, sometimes for only a few hours. So it's like, I worked an 8-hour day. And then I worked another 8-hour day. And then I worked another one. So I've already worked 3 days this week. So 8 times 3, whatever that, 24. I've already worked 24 hours. Actually, she's probably worked maybe 16. So there's that. But yeah. So,
So what, you think like you're better than her or something? Or?
I'll have no idea. I know. I definitely know that the boss likes her more, I feel like. Because they're always laughing and giggling. I'm like, hey, what's going on over there? And I crack a joke and it never lands. Me and the tellers and the banker, we all laugh. We have a good time. Or at least...
Are they laughing at you or with you?
No, they're laughing with me.
Or so you hope.
We laugh at one of the other guys. We laugh at the guy that runs the drive-thru most of the time. Cause he's still he's definitely like experienced, but he's definitely newer from what I can tell. And so yeah, we give him some crap. It's also it's weird. Most of the it's such a weird thing because I don't know about the guy that runs the drive-thru. I really don't know what his situation is. But the new girl and this other guy, this other teller that's part-time, they're both still in school. And so I'm like, well, it's just like, oh, I'm out of school. And I've always been the one who's always in school, working part-time. Now I'm like, they're technically my boss, but at the same time, if we're looking at like rankings in the bank, it goes the manager, the other banker, and he's actually a pretty important banker in the company, but he doesn't get paid more for it. And I'm like, that's some crap. You should definitely complain about that because he gets like just oodles a lot. He just gets large amounts of work compared to your normal banker. and he doesn't get compensated for it. I'm like, that's some crap. You should definitely ask for a raise. And then there's me, and then there's the rest are
The
part.
bottom of the totem pole.
Well, no, and then you have all the part-timer tellers, and it's like, but like if we're looking at experience-wise, bottom for days, hours, I'm not the bottom anymore. At least by the end of this week, I will not be the bottom for hours. Definitely not. So I'm actually like progressing. I would say I've progressed faster because I've gotten to do stuff that she hasn't gotten to do. But she also gets to do more things than I do. But I don't have to actually do that stuff. There's this thing called running back counter where they scan checks and receipts and stuff. I haven't had to do that, and they haven't taught me how to do that. But they've taught her how to do that. But she's the closer. I'm not. I'll probably rarely, if ever, have to close. So.
What time does the bank close?
So the in-store closes at 5. The drive-through, I believe, is 6:30.
Yeah, it's like an hour difference between the two.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that's because I went there while I was dropping off. I had to pick up a cashier's check.
Cashier's checks. Oh man, I hate being the one who has to get them, and I hate being the one who has to give them to people. But you know what?
Have you had to do it yet?
No. Yes, we've had to do lots of cashier's checks. I'm just not experienced enough for that. Because it's a bit more. It's a lot more paperwork. It's some of the most.
It's a bit more technical.
Just say I watched the one guy do it. And it was like I just got lazy and I was already in town and I was gonna write a check for rent here that morning, but I forgot to. So it's like, you know what? It's an extra $10. Who cares? Just go get the check at the bank because I'm not wasting $15 in gas to go write a check and come back.
Hey, those. I mean, depending on what kind of account you have, I mean, those cashier's checks can cost money. So.
Yeah, it's like a $10 extra.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been comparing it to the bank that I bank at, and I have no idea what kind of account I'm on. Because my account is like, everything's free. I don't have any fees per month. I don't have anything. Like, I can overdraft, and it's just like, whatever. I'm like, what? I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm just like...
Wait, let me ask, is it weird to work at a bank that you don't bank with?
Yeah. I also don't want to bank there because, well, it's not a good deal for what I do. So it's just like I gotta keep my mouth shut because I'm just like, otherwise I just rag on the bank the entire time, even because like I like the bank that I bank at. I wanted to work there, but heaven forbid I couldn't get one. I mean, I can rag on their lowest level stuff because that's kind of what I'm at. Their student debit cards and savings accounts. But as for like everything else, I have no idea. I looked at our car loans though, and I'm like, oh my god, that's a high interest rate. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't get a car loan from us. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's a high interest rate for right now. What? I hadn't seen it. I was like, 4%. What? Obviously, you have to be pre-approved, though. And he wouldn't talk to us. You would definitely talk to a loan officer. Which we had this guy come in. He was like, my grandson or his son. It looked like his grandson. I mean, I don't ask questions. But he was just like, yeah, we need a car loan. I'm like, well, we can give him the number of a guy. And when do you want to be driving? He's like, oh, the kid wants to drive tonight. And it's like, well, that ain't going to happen. Loans take time. I don't understand how the boomer didn't understand that. I can understand the kid wanting to get the car wouldn't understand that, but I don't understand the boomer wouldn't think that he has to get pre-approved for a loan. Whatever. Maybe he thought, oh, I'm a boomer. I don't need to do that. Whatever. Could be. Anyways, Buck. Okay, so we've still got like several minutes of this segment. Tell us, how have you been since the last time we did a podcast together? Because it's been a while.
It has been, and pretty much to say the least, it's not been too different. Besides the fact that I moved out of my other house, moved down into this apartment, which you guys have already heard. That 500 square feet, not very big place. Heck, you've already driven by it. Just a ship. And other than that, it's just been clicking along. The biggest thing that's probably happened in the last 2 weeks is my computer's SSD finally. It didn't really take a dump,
Oh.
but I had to go up to Papillion, take the thing in to get it basically replaced / upgraded. I went to a 2 terabyte SSD instead of the 500 that I had. They just cloned over the copy of the SSDs, and what they actually did is the guy just told me, we'll plug the other one back in since you have the hookups to hook up another one, and we'll just put that on there as a backup drive. They just told me I can delete it when I get home, but I now have the 2 terabyte SSD. 2 terabyte SSD with the Windows, 4 terabyte, which is all my extra storage stuff, and then the 500 gig is just a backup if something goes wrong on the other ones.
I want to use this backup. I don't think it's that reliable compared to.
Well, no, they said that it was the thing actually was still at a really good health. It's that I just had that thing completely stuffed at 488 gigabytes 24/7 for 5 years. So it's still good for a handful of stuff. Like if I need to back up some really important files, I can put them on that drive, or my 4 terabyte, which I've only had for about a year or so. Other than that, it's just basically a dud drive. Like I'm not going to put anything on it.
This is 4 terabytes, and this is 4 terabytes, and it's 3/4 full.
I want to get that checked out, bud.
Well, no. Literally, I'm stuffing this thing. Part of the problem is I upload the podcast and the podcast highlights. I probably don't need to put the podcast highlights on here, but at the same time, it's a lot easier to surf through highlights than full podcasts.
That's half the reason.
But at the same time, I don't want to get rid of the full podcast because it's just like you never know if you ever need it.
There's
a chance.
My 4 terabyte one that one's got about halfway full too, but that's also because I haven't went in and deleted my videos. I have like 60 video files and then like 110 recordings, not even backed up. Like they're already uploaded to YouTube. I just need to delete the old recordings, and then that just tanks the amount of storage that's in that thing.
Something I need to work on is
having Phil Nutt clanking the dishes in the background.
Yeah, there's nothing to do about that. Something I need to work on is when I erase videos to get put into the recycle bin, of course, but the recycle bin is on my C drive, which is an SSD. So then my SSD slowly fills up without me realizing it because the recycle bin is slowly filling up. And I'm like, you're just burning my SSD, damn it, because every time you write to an SSD, you damage it. So it's like, stop!
Well, you can set it up that it just says it deletes when you put it in there.
Oh, no. I can't do that. There are files that I've accidentally deleted. I'm like, where's that file? I need that file because I erased it from all of my stuff, and I didn't have it. And I'm like, where is it?
It is Samsung Evo. It lasts you at least 5 years at full capacity.
Yeah. Let me just go whip out $200 for that.
Actually, the one that I had before, the 2 terabytes, the one that's 178, and that's if you get it at the 500 something write and read. That's the one I got. The more expensive one's like 230.
I mean, if I'm gonna get a good drive, I'm gonna get a good drive. I'm not gonna get some crappy drive. I'll have to get a Gen 3. I don't have Gen 4 support. At least not on my motherboard, I don't think. No, I don't think I do. Either way, my CPU does not support it. I know that for a fact. It's not. It's 1 generation old, so it doesn't have support. That I'm aware of. Hard to say. Point is, I mean, it's only 1 generation old. It's already crap. No, it's still great. It's still better than most people's computers, like better than probably 90% of the population. But wish it were better. But you know what? We're probably gonna go 2-3 generations before the chip shortage finally ends, and you can actually afford to buy things. So, yeah, honestly, it'll probably work out. Like, oh, I'm looking for an upgrade, and the chip shortage will probably end. Hopefully, maybe, probably not.
2 years.
What?
2 years.
Well, probably more. I mean,
Where do you get your estimations from?
manufacturers, because they know how much the demand is, and so they know how much they can make, and so they tell you, yeah, we have no idea. They're I've heard estimates of a decade, or probably
Right.
never. It may
Yeah,
never.
with everything going digital, it's not like the demand for them is going to go down. It's
No.
only going to go up.
It's only gonna go up, and they have there's nothing motivating them to build. I mean, okay, Biden forced them to literally build another plant, but there's nothing forcing them to build another one, and like multiple, because why would they? Because that's just gonna lower the price, and then then they can't make as much money. So there's nothing motivating them to do that, and that's the irritating.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather make a quick nickel over a slow down?
Not when you're talking $300 to $60.
Not when
Except if you're popping it, but when
Look,
you're going off the
it
line.
seems to me like if you could meet the supply, sure, the price would go down, but you'd be making nickels faster than you'd make the dime back.
It doesn't matter. You also got to understand, there's no competition. So it doesn't matter how slow that dime is. There's no one telling you can't make the dime. And the slower it takes you to make that dime, the bigger the dime gets. Might turn into a quarter. Or a $50.
And that's why people hate the computer company.
Trust me, if foundries weren't so difficult to build, there would be companies jumping on top of building their own. I mean, Samsung already is they've been experimenting with their Exynos processors in their phones because they want to get away from Qualcomm, so then they can just build the stuff themselves. They don't have to worry about the supply. They already build their own SSDs and some other RAM. I don't think all of their RAM is.
Okay, hang on. Isn't the next segment news?
Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, this happens.
Say, because this would be a good one. What's with the whole Apple Store thing now? They can't make profits on something?
Oh yeah.
I've been trying to figure that. Understand, Epic Games is now screwed out of the App Store.
Oh yeah, we can skip to that.
I was kind of confused on what the heck was going on there.
So I mean, okay, so I have some anti-vaxxer news. So we can act. You know what? We can actually talk about the Epic Game things maybe as the fourth segment, because I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I don't know. Probably.